Trump's worst fear may be unfolding before our eyes, and reports warn that attacking his personal brand and assets could be the single most effective way opponents inflict lasting political and financial damage. What begins as a focused act of personal revenge risks cascading into a wider confrontation, with retaliatory moves and political fallout that could rapidly escalate beyond anything either side intended. Security experts now ask whether Iran has the intent and capability to strike high-profile Trump properties in Dubai and Riyadh, and what the diplomatic and military consequences would be if those iconic sites were targeted. By reportedly selecting Trump-branded hotels and towers as symbolic targets, Tehran would be delivering a calculated, high-visibility warning aimed at damaging both his global business image and political standing. Reports that Iran has placed Trump's luxury towers on a hit list have fueled alarm among his allies and raised urgent questions about how vulnerable his international holdings, and his campaign, really are. Iran's tactics may be shifting from military targets to high-profile commercial assets tied to influential figures, a strategy designed to inflict maximum reputational and economic pain where it will be most felt. Iran has reportedly threatened Trump-linked real estate across the Gulf amid rising tensions, a development that has alarmed regional security officials and investors who fear such threats could spark broader confrontations or disrupt international travel and commerce. The warning was attributed to Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, per Nexta, a claim that, if accurate, signals a direct escalation by a powerful arm of Tehran's security establishment rather than a fringe or unofficial actor. Trump International Hotel and Tower in Dubai was named as a potential target, according to reports, drawing attention because an attack that would carry high symbolic value and wide media coverage given the property's prominence and international clientele. Trump Plaza in Jeddah was also reportedly included on Iran's target list, a designation that would extend the alleged focus beyond the UAE and amplify concerns among Gulf hosts about protecting foreign-owned high-profile properties. Trump Tower in Riyadh was among the properties allegedly identified by Tehran, a citation that raises particularly sensitive diplomatic and security implications given Saudi Arabia's strategic alliance with the United States. Reports also mention Trump-linked sites in Qatar and Oman as possible targets, suggesting the alleged warning encompassed multiple Gulf states and could complicate regional coordination on security and risk mitigation. The warning followed recent U.S. strikes on Iranian military and defense facilities, a sequence that analysts say may have prompted Tehran to respond with threats aimed at maximizing political and psychological impact without immediately crossing certain military red lines. The reported threat raised fears of a wider U.S. Iran conflict across the Middle East, as regional partners and global markets weighed the possibility that attacks on symbolic commercial targets could broaden into more direct military exchanges. Both Washington and Tehran continue exchanging warnings amid regional tensions, an ongoing cycle of rhetoric and posturing that increases uncertainty and makes de-escalation more challenging for diplomats on both sides. The reported claims have not been independently verified by official sources, leaving open crucial questions about the accuracy, motive, and credibility of the allegations and underscoring the need for cautious reporting and confirmation. Iran has unveiled a new mural in Tehran depicting Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu drowning in a sea of red. The mural, unveiled on July 16, carries a bold message warning that its targets will face the Iranian nation's revenge. The slogan appears in both Persian and English, according to reports by Tasnim news agency. Meanwhile, another billboard in Tehran displays the phrase "blood for blood" alongside images of Donald Trump and his family in coffins. The artwork features Trump, Melania Trump, and his 5 children against the backdrop of the White House. Installed in Tehran's Palestine Square, the display threatens revenge against Trump's family following recent U.S. strikes on Iran. Another mural portrays the American president inside an open coffin beneath the words, "We kill Trump." Iranian state-linked media described the murals as symbolic messages amid the escalating confrontation between Tehran and Washington. A new mural depicting U.S. President Donald Trump in a coffin has been unveiled in Tehran, reflecting the raw anger and desire for revenge coursing through Iran's hardline circles. The mural was installed at Tehran's Ingelab Square, a symbolically charged location often used for political messaging and revolutionary imagery. The artwork shows Trump lying in a coffin alongside the phrase "We kill Trump," turning the display into an explicit death threat rather than just a protest image. This installation comes amid mounting hardline calls for revenge after Ali Khamenei's killing, with public art now echoing the rhetoric of retaliation. The mural follows days of escalating military confrontation between Tehran and Washington. American strikes continue to batter Iran. But is Tehran now hitting back with greater force? U.S. strikes reportedly hit the maritime control tower at Iran's strategic Chabahar port. The attack was reportedly the third strike on the same facility in just over a week. Iran also said the U.S. struck a location in the Vazian district of Lorestan province. Officials in Lorestan said authorities are currently assessing the extent of the damage, according to reports. They added that further details will be released once the investigation into the strikes is completed. Meanwhile, Iran's Revolutionary Guards claim they have struck an American military base in Syria. The IRGC claimed the strike specifically targeted a U.S. Special Operations Command Center. The command center is reportedly located in Syria's strategically important Al-Tanf region. Iran claimed the attack destroyed a radar system along with several military helicopters. Tehran also claimed that a large number of U.S. personnel were killed in the strike. However, Washington, D.C. has not confirmed Iran's claims regarding damage or casualties at Al-Tanf. This comes as Iran insists it remains in full control of the strategically vital Strait of Hormuz. Iran has also warned it could block oil and gas exports through the Hormuz Strait if American attacks continue. Another night of intense fighting has unfolded as the United States and Iran exchanged fresh military strikes across the Gulf. For the sixth consecutive night, U.S. forces launched another wave of attacks against targets inside Iran. Iranian media reported that American strikes targeted an airport near the strategically vital Strait of Hormuz. IRGC's statement read, and I quote, "3 explosions were heard around the airport and at least 1 American enemy projectile hit Ain Shah Airport," unquote. Fresh explosions were also reported around Bandar Abbas as the latest U.S. strikes hit key military locations. Reports suggest strategic transport links were also targeted, further intensifying tensions around the Strait of Hormuz. According to U.S. Central Command, the latest operation was aimed at further degrading Iran's military capabilities. U.S. Central Command statement read, and I quote, "At 2 p.m. Eastern Time today, U.S. forces began conducting a new wave of strikes against Iran for the 6th consecutive night to further degrade Iranian military capabilities," unquote. Missiles, drones and airstrikes continue to transform the Gulf into one of the world's most volatile conflict zones. As Washington intensifies its campaign, Tehran has responded with another wave of drone attacks. Explosions have been reported in Doha as warning sirens echoed across parts of the Qatari capital, triggering fresh security concerns amid escalating regional tensions. Qatari authorities issued emergency alerts to mobile phones, urging residents to stay alert and follow official safety instructions as the situation continued to unfold. Iran says American military facilities in Bahrain remain within the range of its expanding retaliatory operations. Iran's Revolutionary Guard claims it carried out another drone strike targeting U.S. air assets stationed in Bahrain. The Strait of Hormuz has once again emerged as the central battleground in the escalating confrontation. With both sides continuing to exchange strikes, there are still no visible signs of de-escalation in the conflict. Reports of loud explosions in downtown Dubai suddenly pulled the UAE into the U.S. Iran showdown, hinting at possible pressure on American allies. Witness accounts of blasts in the UAE during U.S. Iran fire exchanges fed fears that the conflict shockwaves are reaching regional financial hubs. However, Dubai media office swiftly denied reports of any explosions in Dubai City on July 16. Meanwhile, Iran's top negotiator Ghalibaf said that Iran has no choice but to rely on its strength, signaling a hardened, siege mentality in Tehran's negotiating posture. He also alleged that the U.S. seeks to hit Iran and advance its interests whenever it can. U.S. missiles also struck areas near the Iranian port city of Bandar Abbas. Early reports said there were no injuries or damage to infrastructure, suggesting calibrated signaling strikes rather than a full-blown attempt to cripple Iran's Gulf hub. Even as Iran warned Donald Trump to expect surprises if he kept striking, did Trump just respond by dropping new bombs near Qeshm, essentially daring Tehran to make good on every threat it has made? Is Trump brushing off Tehran's most dramatic warnings yet, as new U.S. bombs reportedly fall near Qeshm Island in a message that Washington has no intention of pausing its military campaign? Iranian media reports on July 16 claim U.S. projectiles slammed into areas around Qeshm Island in the Gulf, adding a strategically sensitive new location to a growing list of Iranian territory already struck by American forces. Iran state broadcaster IRIB is reporting that a projectile struck a village on Qeshm Island itself, raising the alarming possibility that populated civilian areas are now being caught in the crossfire of this escalating war. These latest US strikes came directly after Iran's army spokesman warned Trump to expect the unveiling of new military surprises, suggesting Washington chose escalation over caution in the face of Tehran's most pointed threat yet.